It's time to go back to the wasteland. Here's everything you need to know about Fallout 76. Hello, I'm Louise, and today I am joined by games writer Phil Iwaniuk.
Hello.
Who has been playing the Fallout 76 beta. So Fallout 76, we haven't really had a long time to get used to even the idea of it, but it's coming. And what is it? It's not really like a traditional Fallout game, is it?
I think the essential question that I was asking myself, and that most people will probably go through the same, is it a Fallout game or is it a survival game?
Yeah.
And what I conclude is that it can be played like a sort of, basically a single player Fallout game. It's very similar to Fallout 4 in many ways, but also has a PvP element and a co-op element to it as well. So it's sort of up to the player what it is.
So do you think in that way Fallout players and non-Fallout players would both be able to enjoy it in their different ways?
I think there's definitely more in it for a Fallout player. I think if you're coming at this from like years at DayZ and Rust and managing lots of bars and dying in 20 different ways and fighting dysentery.
Yep.
Fallout systems aren't quite as in depth as that. It's basically thirst and hunger that you're looking after. And then the rest of it is a chance to sort of explore Fallout's lore and take on its super mutants and lots of familiar, welcome returns. Yeah,
lots of nasty bugs, right?
Yeah,
just kind of gas,
big things,
big nasty things.
Things that wouldn't normally be that big were it not for some sort of nuclear apocalypse.
Yeah. So I think the one big difference that we've got here is obviously Fallout is known for plenty of NPCs. So despite the fact it's been the end of the world, there's always plenty of people hanging around to talk to. That's not the case in Fallout 76, is it? We have other players, but we don't have anyone sort of lurking around giving us challenges and things to do.
Yeah, that's it, except for little robots like the British robot butler from Fallout 4. There's plenty of those around.
He didn't know my name in Fallout 4. I was always very upset. I had to call him Mr. Lewis was my name.
They didn't know Louise?
Did not know Louise. There's a
well, there we go.
Thanks, Bethesda.
You'd think they'd patch that in. So this time, so there's 24 players per Fallout 76 game, and the map is pretty big. So you're not forced into a big crowd of players the whole time. It's not like playing a sort of 64-player Battlefield map. And I suppose the worlds have always felt quite barren, and like there have been NPCs dotted around, and particularly in the big settlements. But generally it's always been quite a large, sometimes tranquil place. So you can still go about on your own and go quite a while without seeing other players. Yeah. But those players are players. They are human beings. They
are there, and I think a lot of people would be like, I don't want other players in my Fallout game, especially if they are enjoying the serenity of the nuclear winter, so to speak. But they've got stuff in place so that if someone shoots you, then if you don't shoot them back, it's significantly harder for them to actually kill you, isn't it? Because if you don't fight back, Bethesda's kind of balanced it a bit to try and make it so that griefing, in essence, isn't massively a problem.
Yeah, so this is actually one of my favourite things from what I played, the system that governs PvP. There's a sort of, you have to sort of enter a contract with the other player. So if someone shoots you, you have to then shoot back or harm. Once you've both hurt each other, then PvP, game on, you're fighting. If only one person hurts someone, then you don't do the full amount of damage because the other person hasn't sort of agreed to that PvP engagement. You can still kill someone though, so griefing is still possible. But it's a player-governed system. So say you've just killed someone, say I've gone up to you and I've shot you, and you're like, no mate, come on, I'm level 1. I'm just trying to collect some copper here to make a base. But I've managed to murder you anyway. I will then be broadcast across to all the other players on the map. My position will appear on the map, and I will be branded a murderer, and there will be a bounty on my head.
Yep.
So
that seems fair.
I'd better be pretty good at PvP.
Yeah. that means that there's this sort of added challenge, really, because I think the thing about the beta was they just gave everyone the whole game. They didn't limit it in any way. So it was a really good taster of the fact of this is how the game will be. This is how you will react with other players, and this is how you can kind of get out of situations where you potentially don't want to be shot at.
And it's a chance for them to learn how those systems work as well. And from what I saw, that sort of player-governed system works really well. And I'm sure there will be tweaks from beta to release, but I'm sure it was a chance for them to see whether these things actually play out as they anticipated when you put it in the hands of thousands of strangers.
Millions of
millions. Thousands of millions.
Thousands of millions.
I've heard that there were billions playing.
Also, I think you can play in squads, right? So you can actually go in together. So it can be a sort of nice sociable experience for you. And I think you can then fast travel to your friends as well, because the map is huge.
That's it, yeah. So you can be in squads of up to 4, and yeah, you've always got the opportunity to teleport back to each other and join forces. I didn't play a scenario where I was sort of being picked on as a solo person and then sort of, oh, quick, everybody get to me. But I wonder what would happen.
Yeah.
I guess there's like a good little bait and switch to be played there, where you go off on your own and sort of taunt somebody into, opening fire on you,
and bringing down,
and then everybody teleports to you and then takes someone out.
Yeah.
That's for the next
emergent gameplay.
Yeah.
We'll find out how that can work. What a horrible word. We were talking about it a little before, the survival elements here. So we have a thirst meter, we have a hunger meter, food rots, food can be diseased.
Yeah, disease is rife.
Yeah.
You can catch disease just by sleeping on the floor.
But I assume you can build a bed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, beds are important.
Okay.
Yeah, beds stave off diseases. Those are basically the survival tenets. You keep your thirst up, you keep your hunger up. And I mean, disease really works it's not a completely new system. We've had that in Elder Scrolls games,
yep.
And it works in a very similar way. So there are certain actions that you undertake that are more likely to you'll contract an illness, and in this case that means sleeping on the floor rather than on a mattress. And then you can either, some illnesses will pass over time, some you might have to craft something, find I want to say a potion, that's not very Fallout-y.
No.
Find some meds.
Yes, that's it.
Or perhaps trade. So that's the other aspect of the kind of social thing. It's not all or nothing. Like, you can be a lone wolf and try and play it like Fallout 4.5, or you can play the entire thing in a squad of 4, but you can also, when you just happen to meet someone else in the world, you can just say, do you want to trade something?
Yeah.
It might be that you're dying of a particular disease and they've got the meds you need.
Wonderful. I think as well, the first thing that people are going to want to do is create a camp. Now the fact is that requires loads of resources and lots of looting, but I think everything, once you've got that resource, you can move your camp around, you can create all these different machines, so it's very Fallout Don't Starve-y to me.
I know what you mean. And this is actually, I'll retract my previous statement about that being the only parallel with survival games, because in every sort of true survival game, if you like, that I've played, on every server it's the big groups of players who've hoarded all their resources, who have the cool, they have all the beds, everyone else is caught disease, and they make these sort of cool impenetrable castles because they're a union and there's too many of them, and then you're one player and you make this sort of 2x2 hut, and it just keeps getting ransacked every day. Yeah, there's definitely scope for that to happen in Fallout 76 as well, so that's another sort of feather in its
there's that with Nukes, right? I mean, I haven't read much about the Nukes.
That's an end game thing. I don't think no one set off a nuke when I was playing. In the beta, I'm not sure what the level cap is, how it's gated, but I mean, most people will get into like level 9 or 10.
Yeah.
I don't think we quite had a chance to start nuking each other.
Yeah.
Once you've played enough with a group and you get sufficiently powerful and you have all the resources, you can start nuking people, and that's going to be fun.
There's going to be some interesting stories come out of this endgame. Another big element of Fallout 76 is the fact that there will be microtransactions, but Bethesda's been very keen to push the fact that the microtransactions with the currency in Fallout 76 are called atoms, and with these you can apparently buy custom bits. But did you find that these were handed out to you? Were you getting challenges and things?
Yeah, it wasn't pervasive, to be honest. I didn't really realise what was going on. I saw that I was earning atoms here and there for completing different tasks, but I never hit a wall where I thought, oh, I can't do this thing.
Yeah.
It was always resources that I needed to gather within the game, rather than sort of finding a piece of rotten wood and salvaging the wood from that, or ransacking a container for little, duct tape and things, in a similar way to Fallout 4, right? Like,
I picked up everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
And it all becomes crafting materials in the end.
Well, that's the problem.
So that system is pretty much still in place. Atoms do exist and they're out there, and whatever, the people who enjoy that can take part in that system, but I don't feel like it at this stage. It's not being thrust upon the player.
No.
You can ignore it if you like, and you will still sort of earn them, and then if you want to get rid of them, then there's stuff to spend them on.
So following on from the looting that we were talking about a minute ago, there's lots of things to craft, right? This is all about crafting.
Yeah, so if you enjoyed the base building element in Fallout 4, that's been expanded. That's one of the areas that's actually has the clearest amount of, you know, it's a big toy box full of new stuff. And you're not able to craft everything straight away.
Yep.
Classic.
Always.
It looks like when you enter a sort of a workshop, that will then, there are items in there that will allow you to sort of expand your arsenal of blocks and wires and, you know, your base building stuff. Yeah, so that sort of rewards further play. You know, it's the exact same construction system. It's that snap to grid thing that, you know, Todd Howard manages to build basically Pac-Man with working LEDs and everyone else just makes a hut.
I just made a giant prison for everyone that was living in my, what was it called?
Something town. Some sort of ironically cheery sounding sanctuary. Yeah, miserable
I basically
place.
built a giant prison just full of beds.
Yeah, and they still weren't happy.
No.
Everyone had a bed, but no, still kicking off.
They didn't have any disease. So finally, let's talk about Vats. So Vats are obviously the targeting system that we've used over the years with Fallout, but because Fallout 76 is an online game where we don't slow down time in an online game, how does Vats work?
Yeah, really weird one. There is still Vats. It's in real time now. Time doesn't slow down, so it's a targeting system that shows you your hit percentage, and you can change your aim between, you know, head, torso, limbs, and things. But it all happens in real time. So it's sort of, you know, it's a compromise between the VAT system that we know and love and one that works in multiplayer. There's a high degree of challenge when you're actually aiming because it's real time.
Yeah.
you don't have that stabilizer of slowing down time, but it still works in the same way, and you can still pop off some delicious headshots and things like that.
Lovely. Well, that seems a lovely place to end it. So thank you very much, Phil.
Thank you.
Let us know if you have any questions about the Fallout 76 beta, and we'll try and answer them in the comments below. Drop us a like if you enjoyed this video, and don't forget to subscribe to Logitech G for more videos just like this one. Plus, if you do already subscribe, please don't forget to hit that notification bell to make sure you know when the next video drops.